Hi there, my name's Ben and I like to read. Today we're going to be reviewing another Alan Moore work. It is Batman the Killing Joke. Of course, written by Alan Moore, illustrated by Brian Bolland. This is a Joker origin story is the correct and only way to put it. This is considered to be one of the most influential and the best written Joker origin stories. And this was meant to be a standalone as well. This was actually used by Tim Burton as the inspiration for his Joker in his Batman movie in 1989. The Joker was, of course, played by Jack Nicholson, masterful performance as well. But essentially, the plot synopsis goes that it takes place in flashbacks and in the present day. So, Batman is chasing the Joker, and it flashes back to how the Joker became the Joker. So he was initially a chemical engineer who was dissatisfied with his job. So he abruptly quits one day. His wife, says, like, "What the hell are you doing? Like, we have a kid. Like, we need to, like, we have a family. What's your problem? Why are you doing this?" He's like, "Well, I wasn't fulfilled. I want to be a comedian." And she says, "You're never going to make any money at that. Whatever." He's undeterred. He tries, fails miserably as well. And again, he ends up falling in with these criminals. Breaking into the chemical factory that he used to work at, ends up falling into a vat of acid once they get caught, and emerges with green hair, pale white skin, and ruby red lips, and has gone completely insane. That's the very, very condensed version of his of the origin story. The book itself, again, very, very short, or I should say the comic issue itself is short. Has I would say they don't page number this. Anyway, it's fairly short. It's very compelling too. I would have I breezed through it and then I read it again immediately afterwards. It's so deep, and essentially it explores not just the Joker's origin story, but it explores Batman in relation to the Joker as well. Because we always get this, Batman's like, "Put down the gun, Harvey," like, "You're the best of us," and blah blah blah, and all this, like, this pontificating, Dark Knight, if you will. Whereas Alan Moore, really is the source of the idea that, Batman and Joker are both crazy. They're both psychopathic. They're both extremely mentally ill, and they should be sharing a cell at Arkham Asylum together. And it's just that fine line of morality is so arbitrary when it comes to the two of them, because you could see the Joker as being the good guy and Batman as being the bad guy, and vice versa. And it's just wonderfully subversive in that way. And I mean, again, this edition inspired Tim Burton, Christopher Nolan. It essentially inspired all subsequent portrayals of Batman and of the Joker. Because, again, it raises some really good questions about morality, about family, about the nature of good and evil, right? This is something, and I mean, I hesitate to call it important, because I tend to call every single book that I review important, because I think every book is important. But I don't want to discount this book's importance. It also has a lot of influence. And I know that most other books that I've probably spoken about, I've said, "Oh, they're highly influential," but they are. They've influenced people one way or another. Doesn't matter if fame comes associated with it or not. This one just so happens to have quite literally altered the portrayal of two of the most famous comic book characters out there, indefinitely. This was the paradigm shift in how to portray the Joker and his relationship to Batman, and also to be brave enough to have a darker Batman, not someone who's just like, this, oh, I just put this on because I was afraid of bats and I'm embracing my fear. Like, no, Batman is a seriously damaged individual as well. He, has to deal with his childhood trauma of, seeing his parents get murdered in front of him. And of course, he's extremely rich, isolated from a lot of other people. He's angry. He's got a chip on his shoulder. And what does he do? He's a brutal psychopath who takes it out on criminals, so to speak, and where he beats them half to death. And his one rule is essentially, I don't kill anyone. That's my one rule. Whereas, what I love about this one is that at the ending is so ambiguous because we're not sure because once Batman and Joker confront each other, we're not sure if Batman actually crosses that line and kills the Joker, or if he just, or if he actually apprehends him. And that's why it is so great. It is so dark and so real. And it's a comic book that again makes you think. And this is why Alan Moore is, again, one of the best graphic novel / comic book writers out there. So if you haven't read it, definitely read it. If you're a comic book fan, you gotta read it. Doesn't matter if you're like, one of these, like, having these stupid pissing contests with, like Marvel or DC or Vertigo or whatever the hell else. I don't follow comic books to begin with, so I find the whole thing extremely juvenile. That said, I don't think that the medium is juvenile. I think that there is some art to be had within there. And, if you can get beyond the costumes, if you can get beyond the powers, you have, like, there's real potential for some serious themes to be explored. And that's why Alan Moore's version is superior, because it doesn't focus on gadgets. It doesn't focus on powers. It's none of this, super triple filtered, so sterile, like all these other superhero movies are these days. He's willing to confront the human aspect. He's willing to humanize two absolutely despicable individuals and explore the relationship of good and evil between them. So, if you've read it, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Do not skip out on it. Pick it up and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.